And I would like to bring everybody back now so we can do some question and answer. Ashim, and we've got one more. Prasanna? There. Anyway, Ashim, I'm going to start with you. There's a question from the audience asking prospects of marinas in India. I know this is your area of expertise, so do tell us a bit more about that, please.
Well, so currently there is only one small marina in Cochin, which is meant for small boats, about 40 berths. The Bombay port has taken out an tender which is due in May for a 200 boat marina. We as a company have got working on a marina in Goa, which is awaiting its final note from the public hearing, which has been delayed because of COVID, and hopefully will happen towards the later part of this year. But that is a full service 244 berth marina. We have also received a Swiss challenge application from the government for another marina in Bombay, which is at the Mandwa end, which will be for about 100 boats. So I think the next 3 to 5 years will see an upswing in the marina business in India, and that is what will turn the market on its head. So for the last 20 years, all that we have really worked for is finally coming to fruition, and hopefully we'll see the light of day in the next 3 to 5 years.
That is always very encouraging, isn't it? After all that hard work, finally some major successes.
Yes.
Prasanna, I know that there's marinas that have just started to open in Colombo as well. Tell us about the marina situation and the prospects going forward.
Oh, well, it's like the marinas for Colombo in Sri Lanka, the marinas always welcome to the sailing yachts because we don't have marina, as I said. The sailing yachts are always welcome to Port of Galle, where it is the suitable place, more suitable place for the yachts to stay. So what happens, sooner the yacht comes, the authorities, they grant the clearances, but only thing with this COVID situation, no guest can go out of the yacht, and because no visas, no clearance granted for them. But what the activity mainly is happening today is yachts are arriving to renew their Maldives visas and to get possible supplies from Colombo. So that's the situation of yachts as of now today.
Thank you. And here, what is the best yachting season or the best time for super yachts to come to the Maldives?
Well, the best time to visit would be the sunny season when it's not rainy and stormy, which runs from December until the end of May. And June, July is the most rainy season for us, but it is not always rainy. So generally throughout the year, Maldives has good weather except for June, July, August. But except for those 3 months, I would say any time is good to visit Maldives.
What's the water temperature in the Maldives?
It's between 25 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius.
My perfect swimming temperature.
Yes.
With the during COVID, has there been any guidelines for yachts coming in or the guests coming in?
Well, tourists and yachts and their crew are able to enter Maldives and arrive Maldives by air or by yacht as long as they carry a negative PCR test with 96 hours validity. But as of today, as of April 20, those who have got their final dose of their COVID-19 vaccinations and who has completed 14 days after that, they are able to arrive Maldives without a COVID-19 negative test.
Yes, that's the latest news.
Yes, as of today. So that's the latest as it can get.
Excellent. Yes, I was posting that news on the APSA newsletter today.
Okay.
And Ashim, can I ask you, where do you see India in the global perspective over, like we know you've put a lot of work into the things happening in the past, and now we're going forward. Where do you see India being on the Superyacht cruising itinerary?
So that's a really good question, Susie. With the opening of the marine market, especially with the marinas becoming a reality, I would say if we can get even one marina up and running in the next three years, India will become, in India, it's all about proof of concept. I'll give you a simple example. We opened a small port in Bombay where we took on the development of a small port where we were getting 3,000 people a day. We developed it as a private partnership with the government, and that took us to, what we did was improve the infrastructure and put in some sort of a yachting background to it. And the traffic went from 4,000 people a day to 40,000 people a day. All right. That allowed us to bring in a RoPax ferry. Now, due to the math that you need one decent marina that will come into Bombay, multiply that into Goa, multiply that into Mandra, multiply that into 6 other destinations that the government will then, by which have on their legs. This is going to become the new Singapore, Thailand belt put together in the next 5, 7, 10-year horizon. So everything that we've spoken about is finally getting there because I can see it on the ground. It's no longer hearsay that it's going to happen. The tenders are out. The bids are coming out, getting into place. And I think we are finally going to see a cusp of change in the next 2 to 3 years.
We have a question from the audience. Simon Powell, a sailor from Hong Kong, is asking, Maldives, will resorts be, Nadir, the Maldives, will resorts be happy if I anchor off the beach? And are there any marine park fees? And are all the islands private or state-owned?
When it comes to anchoring near a resort, since resorts are mostly privately owned by brands or by island owners, they are actually not very happy if you go and anchor nearby because the guests in-house would feel they are being treated unfairly because they have in-house guests who are fully paying and staying longer with them. So what we do is if the guests on a yacht would like to visit a resort, we call the resort, we get the permission in writing because it is not too difficult to get permissions from resorts for day visits. Guests can get the permission to go have a spa treatment or to have a meal at one of the in-house restaurants. So in such cases, the yacht is able to anchor outside the resort, but we recommend to anchor 200 meters away from the resort and their water villas so that the guests on the water villas, their privacy remains intact as well. Marina, there are parking fees indeed. It fluctuates depending on what kind of services you are looking and how long you are going to stay there. I hope that answers. Yeah, thank you.
I think that sort of answers the question. And also we have been putting up the contact details for the panelists in the chat box. So make sure you take down the details, or you can always email me and I can forward the contact details on. And I think that's it for the questions now. And I'd like to bring Christoph back to give a bit of a wrap up for the system of the session today. Christoph, you've got some comments, and you know this area well. You've cruised in it, so.
Well, first of all, yes. First of all, thank you very much, everybody, for the very insightful presentation. And I can tell you from here, with our cold weather and being locked down at home, which is all of us suffering this COVID period, it's also refreshing to have a bit of opening there. But I just wanted to make 2 comments from, let's say, my experience and my perspective as a yacht manager / operator, more on practical things. We often have, let's say, in a nice way, some captains being reluctant to go, whether Indian Ocean or even Southeast Asia, actually. because the perception is that it's complicated, and knowing well how we do with the operation, it is not much more complicated than some area where we have to cruise in the Med, actually, because it starts also to be more and more complicated type of regulation. We use a lot Sri Lanka as a logistic base as well, especially bunkering, crew change. So Sri Lanka is also a very interesting logistic base to use and then to cruise around the different areas. Even Seychelles, we did some refit, and Seychelles had a very large yacht over the last winter, being stuck there with the COVID, and they did a large refit there in the Seychelles. Of course, you don't have the same facility as you would have in Singapore or Australia, but you can still do some job if you plan it properly. And I think the key on operation is, if you plan it properly, it's very achievable in any area. It's just a matter of planning a bit in advance, and it is not complicated at all. And like I said initially, using the destination, you know, it's really it should be a hub between Southeast Asia and going to Europe or the Middle East, because you guys are offering so much there, and it should be more than a technical stopover. That's what we like to say to conclude.
Well, thank you very much for that. And Christoph, I mean, I know you've been connecting, you're based in Germany, and so you're connecting the European side of APSA to the Asian side. And I'd also like to introduce now Colin Dawson and Raphael, Raphael Baudry and Colin Dawson, who have been, well, Colin was the previous chairman and one of the founding members of APSA, and Raphael is currently the honorary secretary. So we've got Christoph here and two of our members and two of our committee, and I'd like to thank our chairman, Nigel Beattie, who can't be with us today, and Brian Che, who's our honorary chairman, honorary treasurer, and Alex Teje, who's the honorary legal counsel, and they couldn't be with us today. But we would like to raise our glass to APSA's 10th anniversary. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And hopefully we can party together, thank you, later in the year. I'd like to say cheers and congratulations to APSA.
Cheers.
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 And to thank our panelists for being with us today, for Nick Atkinson and Jade Bourne from the production team, to Guy Knoll for photography and for being there and supporting me. And I'd like to thank all the members of APSA and all the founding members of APSA and making it such a successful association. Happy anniversary or happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Here we go, guys. And the recording will be available on the APSA website. And we thank you for participating and being part of this APSA Grand Tour.